Evening all, Silverbolt's here, back from the Transformers View, and doing a review of a Transformer I said I've been doing for a long time now, which is Energon Rodimus. Lacking the Prime, though in Japan he's still called Rodimus Convoy. Hasbro, of course, lost the rights to use the name Hot Rod. They're quite good at that. Anyway, Rodimus shows up about a third of the way through Energon, and at first you very much don't know whose side he's on. He's a mythic figure at first, almost. He's an Autobot that led some of the other Autobots who were sick of the war off into space. These Autobots settled on some planet somewhere or another, and they became the Omnicons, and Rodimus was their leader. Rodimus, however, didn't settle down this planet. He took Prowl and Landmine and carried on. At some point in his travels, he learns of a planet called Planet Q. Planet Q was under threat from Unicron. Rodimus, being the big heroic Autobot that he is, runs to go and help, but arrives too late. At some point later on in his career, Rodimus meets Alpha Q. Alpha Q was the ruler of Planet Q, and of, from what we can gather, several other planets. Now, Alpha Q wants to use Unicron to recreate the worlds that have been destroyed by Unicron. Rodimus agrees to help him. That puts him at severe odds with Optimus Prime, who wants to destroy Unicron utterly. The odds that Rodimus is up against Prime become very apparent when Hotshot, wanting to talk to Rodimus and find out what's going on with him, confronts him. Rodimus is very single-minded in his mission and shoots Hotshot. And to look at Transformers and see an Autobot blatantly shooting another Autobot, it was like, what? No, that's not supposed to happen. The Autobots are the good guys. They're not supposed to kill each other, but they do. At that point, it looks like it's going to become a four-way war between Alpha Q, Rodimus, the Autobots, Unicron, and the Decepticons. However, eventually it does boil down to Autobots versus Decepticons, with allies in the form of Alpha Q and Megatron trying to control Unicron, and of course eventually gaining control of Unicron. But that just brings in the whole Unicron and Primus thing that was carried on into Cybertron, which I'm not going to go there for now. Rodimus is a very, very strong fighter, and obviously he has to be. He led he's led his forces for God knows how long, and he's actually the brother to Inferno, and that was always. And Inferno's another very good character from Energon. Eventually, of course, Rodimus does side with Prime and almost becomes like his second in command, though I don't think Prime always fully trusts his motives. Quite understandable, really. Hotshot and Rodimus eventually reconcile their differences, and they become quite a powerful duo when they power link. So that all gets sorted out, and it's all very strong, manly, warrior to warrior, big man huggy, friendly, whatever. He's a very dour robot. You know, he's got virtually no sense of humour, and he's got a very gruff voice, which goes against demeanour, which of course is so different to any other incarnation of Rodimus that we've seen, namely Hot Rod and Rodimus in both the cartoon and the comics. Of course, in the comics, of course, the original Rodimus is very much plagued by self-doubt, and in the cartoons as well. Rodimus in Energon doesn't have that problem. An interesting character, very much an interesting character. One of the better characters in Energon. Unlike, it certainly stands out more than that irritating teen bot Ironhide, who I really hope for the new series they stop putting in those fucking teen bots. Who cares? But anyway, onto the toy itself. Now, he's some kind of semi-truck. Hang on, there we go. He's some kind of semi-truck with the very distinctive flame designs that Hot Rod had, and of course Rodimus has. Now, the toy looks quite nice. You know, it looks quite nice, but it's very much indicative of some of the crap that Hasbro can come out. Because on one hand, it's not a bad toy. You know, it's not a bad toy at all. On the other hand, though, there are parts to it that are just... Right, transform him now. Will, of course, have my usual problems trying to transform him. Of course I will. Luckily, I picked him up quite cheaply on eBay. To be honest, I wouldn't actually want to pay a lot for him. Right. Now, can I show it to you? Here. Where is it? No, I can't. Or can I? Yes, I can. Now, I'm assuming that everyone's going to have seen, you know, Transformers Energon and know the idea behind power linking, where they all become mini Jessolts. I think I've got another explanation for it in my Optimus Prime Energon review. Now, when Rodimus power links, he generally combines on top. Rodimus is usually the one that's on top. Make of that what you will. And in toy mode, this is his hand. See that? That's his hand. Oh, hang on. There you go. That's his hand. So indicative of the crap that Hasbro puts out. Instead of doing what they did in the 80s of giving him a, you know, something like along the lines of a, you know, a secondary body part or something akin to that. No, Hasbro just decide that they're going to give him those flat-footed thingamabobs. And that's not the only one they do it with as well. They do it with Hotshot. When Hotshot's the one that's on top. When Hotshot's the torso for the power link. He's got virtually no hands either. And it just goes to show you just how cheaply Hasbro make their toys at times. Right. Oh, I've got it. Oh, well, never mind. Leave it. Okay. That's Energon Rodimus transformed. You know, and as with all the latest series, looks identical to his cartoon counterpart. Hasbro really went to town on the idea of making 20-minute infomercials for their toys. The other problem I have with it is, where's it gone? Is this thing. This is his gun. It's not a gun, it's a mortar cannon. And it's this massive, big firepower thing with of course, the obligatory working missiles. Nice try. It doesn't look too bad if you don't have the missile in it. But again, and they've done the same with Classics Rodimus. They've given him this huge, big, bulky arm cannon. Well, hand cannon. That just doesn't seem to fit right on the toy. Other than that, it's quite a nice toy. It looks quite nice. Barring those two things with the hands for the Powerlinks version and the big, massive handgun. It does look quite nice. But then it's blatantly designed... the cartoon is at this stage for both... well, for all three of the new series. Was so blatantly designed to sell the toys. It's not even funny. There's not a lot more I can really say on Energon. Well, on Rodimus, sorry. I'm sorry if this video is a bit scatterbrained. You know, I do apologise for it. Because I haven't watched Energon in a long time, and it's so hard to try and remember everything. But alright, that's my Energon review done anyway. Well, for Rodimus anyway. I do hope you enjoy it. If you can pick him up cheap. Don't pay a lot of money for him, because he's not, despite the fact that he's a nice character, and he looks okay, you know, he's not that great. But anyway, for now, this is Silverbolt with Rodimus, signing off, saying adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.